Hey folks, welcome to this week's Alexandria Lakes Area Fishing Report. The fishing is really good in the Alexandria Lakes area right now. It's that early ice period. The walleyes in the evenings are on the bite. Crappies are biting. Hearing some really good bluegill reports as well. So get out and enjoy, but please be safe. We've had big wind and some warmth again the last couple days. In fact, we're inside today because it's blowing in the 30s. That can really deteriorate ice conditions, particularly if there's some water standing on the ice, so be safe on the ice. We talked last week about jigging tips for early ice, but also I love to use the second line. In Minnesota, you can use one line, I call it my jigging line, and then I'll have a second line because two lines are legal, where I'll just use a bobber, a plain hook, and a minnow, particularly for walleyes or crappies. If I'm walleye fishing, that minnow might be a shiner minnow, it might be a sucker, a big fathead. If it's crappies, it'll be a crappie minnow. A couple things are important. You want to keep that bait fairly close to the bottom. Most of the time these fish are going to be within a foot, 18 inches of the bottom, so keep your bait down at that level. Use the lively minnow and change it out often. I always say this, a tired minnow doesn't get bit, so change that minnow out often. Another thing, hook it lightly. I like to hook it right behind the dorsal fin. Don't go too deep down in the backbone because that'll kill the minnow, kill the action. Here's another thing. This is an ice buster bobber. One of the cool things about this bobber, sorry there Bailey, she's having a tough day today. One of the cool things about this bobber is I always like to set my float so that just a little bit of the tip is exposed so the bobber is barely buoyant. The reason is a bobber that barely floats, when a fish takes it, slides under the water really easily. That's what you want. With this ice buster bobber, you can set that bobber. Let's say I get it down in the water and this much of it is exposed. I'll just take a scissors and clip some off, clip that top off. Now it's a smaller bobber, a less floaty, as I like to say it, if floaty is a word, a bobber with less flotation. And that bobber is gonna spook less fish. It's gonna put more fish on the ice. Hey, from Mike Frisch and Bailey, we wish you all the best on the luck. Happy holidays, be safe, have fun, and as always, remember to include a youngster in your next outdoors adventure.